Ubiquiti dropped a whole range of new unified G6 cameras. These have an interesting place in their lineup. So there's a brand new G6 Bullet, which is larger than the old one. G6 Turret, different hardware design, and then also a G6 Instant. There's a few things that is quite important to have a look at here. So all these models have the same 4K sensor, which is 8 megapixels. All the cameras are NDAA compliant, and I did have to look this up, and it's something to do with the US government not wanting, I think, Chinese manufacturers basically of cameras. So Ubiquiti is putting a little label on these cameras to say, look, these are compliant. And there's also something called a multi-tops trillion operations per second AI engine on every single camera as well. What's interesting to me is that there's an FAQ on one of the cameras page, right? And it says, how does the G6 line of cameras fit into our overall product lineup? And they've actually said here that the G5 is a simpler camera at a more affordable price, which makes sense, lower resolution and fewer analytics. So they're sort of viewing the G5 range now as not really a previous generation, but they're viewing it as sort of a more simple entry line level of cameras, just slightly above Ultra probably. I like the look of these. They seem better quality hardware design based on their specs. They've all got 4K. They all can do license plate detection, and yeah, I'm pretty impressed. What do you think?
Yeah, I think you covered it. The buzzwords aside, the AI engine.
Yeah.
Basically, what that means is it's similar to the way that the AI cameras have the enhanced features. So that's like license plate detection, face recognition. I'm not sure about if all categories are on each. But yeah, it adds, it's more compute on the camera. So the same way you can add the AI port or AI key to enhance your face detections and those sort of operations and Protect. I think that these cameras kind of will at the very least lessen the load, or you won't need to buy an AI key with these, because that compute is done on the camera itself. And besides that, it seems like the IR range is a little bit longer. It's 4K, so higher quality, bigger sensor. Really beyond that, I mean, I don't understand. They also, they kind of back themselves into a corner with G4, G5, G6, because you just assume G5 is, one better than G4, but there's some places where that isn't true. But they are, they're nice cameras and good prices, and especially if you're looking for those AI features, I think it's worth considering over the G5 or something cheaper.
Yeah, so they've said here the G6 cameras do not work with the AI port because the features that the AI port would add, these cameras have, so face detection and license plate. They do work with the AI key, though, because the AI key does the... I remember Tom talking about the language models, and it would explain things for you based on what you've seen. You can search for woman in red coat driving this car or something, so you can find those. And what they've said is that there's another question in the FAQ, which I'll put a link to. It says, will the AI line of cameras continue, and what about G5? So it says, AI and G5 series remain a core part of our lineup. It says, expect specialized AI cameras to join the roster in the future. So G6 just means a more robust mid-tier option for users who need 4K and more detections, it says, without jumping to a specialized AI camera, or without sticking with the entry-level G5 cameras. So, yeah.
Okay, so they view G5 as entry-level, G6 as mid-range, AI is the fancy stuff.
Yep.
And then we'll get Pro Max cameras soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll get some cameras with 10 gig interfaces at some point. So, which, when they mention specialized, that makes sense, because the AI LPR, that's a very, very specialized camera. So that makes sense in terms of their branding.
Yeah.
And one of the things I like, I think, judging by the specs, that the G6 Bullet has got the same body size as the G4 and G5 Pro, sort of a larger unit, whereas the G4 and G5 Bullets were sort of a smaller body thing, but they've kept the mounts the same based on what they've said. So the same mounts.
In the video they mentioned like it's designed for in-place upgrades, but they didn't really say from what. But I assume even though the G5 Bullet was smaller, it used the same mount as like the G4.
It says, is the mounting hardware the same? Is the mounting hardware on G6 cameras the same as existing? So it says a bullet, turret, or instant camera can be upgraded to one of these new ones. So there we go.
There you go.
Which is quite nice. There's some little weird differences, right? So we've got the G6 Instant, which has got an SD card, like the other cameras we've had previously, like the Ultra AI. What's it? The G5 Ultra turret camera, I think. Yeah, that had an SD card in. Mm-hmm. Whereas this G6 Instant's got an SD card as well for edge recording, supposedly, but the turret and the bullet don't have that, weirdly. So there's that. And there is also the G6 turret, as I mentioned, has a all-new hardware design with the same sort of features as you've got before. But yeah, they look pretty interesting. So it'd be quite good to see how they lean into that. And also the this is getting very confusing. The G6 bullet and the G6 turret come in black and white, but as of recording, they're not available in black yet. So,
and yeah, that's I think we're good. They do look like nice cameras. The only other thing I wanted to mention, I don't know if it happened with this announcement or I just noticed it when I was looking at this for the show notes, but it seems like some of the older cameras did drop off the store.
Oh.
This might not be news. This might have happened 3 months ago and I just didn't notice, but looking for I think a lot of the G4 cameras are off. Like only the G4 Instant, the G4 Doorbell, but I think like the G4 Bullet. So yeah, a lot of the G4 cameras seem to have gone.
They have. Yep.
And I think there's no sign of any of the G3. I think those are all just discontinued.
So yeah, the G4 Bullet's gone. The only one that's remaining is the G4 Doorbell. The original one got removed a while back, actually.
Yeah.
And also the G4 Instant is still on the store. There's a big price jump between the G4 Instant and the G6 Instant, actually.
Yeah, same size, but 4K and
$80
AI features, etc.
I think the G3 Instant got removed from the store as well.
Yeah.
That was there previously, so yeah, looks interesting.